So he's not a YouTuber. He's got 2 million subscribers, but he's not actually a YouTuber or a social media guy. He's simply just an entrepreneur, and he's playing the game of entrepreneurship, which is just like, what's your monthly income or what's your net worth? That's like your score as in the game of entrepreneurship. So he's well and truly an entrepreneur. It's just that he's leveraging YouTube to like level up his entrepreneurship, and he makes a fuck ton of money. And so in terms of like a bunch of our desires, we've been the same for a very long time. It's like we're very status seeking men, we're very competitive men, we're very like hardworking and sacrificing. He started the game way earlier than I did. I believe he was like productive age 14, 15, 16, reading books and everything, whereas I started like literally 2.5 years ago or so. So we had a bit of like a head start on me there. I was working, so the first time I ever saw of Iman, actually, I was working in a homeless accommodation in night shift. So imagine it's like 3 a.m. and I see a YouTube advert for this prick who's 19, I'm 21, saying that he's made like 1 million last month or something. And I was like, yeah, right, scammer. And I literally thought he was a scammer, liar, whatever. And then obviously like I slept around his place for a week, and he's not lying about anything. He gets a lot of backlash. But I think that's just because he's more of an old school entrepreneur and salesman. And these days it's like that's really looked down upon. And so a lot of like young kids and like honestly brokies kind of see someone who's like a successful salesman and just suddenly think he's a scammer. And I was one of these guys. I literally just saw him talking about money and I was like, yeah, he's got to be a scammer, without even knowing like the definition of a scam. It's like you can't even legally scam people these days. You genuinely can't. It's like if someone asks for a refund, you've got to give it to them. Do you know what I mean? So that's the only real way you can be a scammer. And like I'm sure there's no one out online who says, oh yeah, ask for a refund and they wouldn't give it to me or anything. It's just that people who haven't bought his programs think it's too expensive for them, and then they have to say, oh yeah, it's against the rules somehow. How we differ then in our lifestyle is, it is interesting. Like why is he reaching for more? So he's essentially got his needs met. He's retired his mom. He's retired for the rest of his life and everything. His net worth is 10, 20, 30 million. Most of it was in crypto, and I assume he would have lost a lot of his money, but he's still certainly making like millions and millions. Like he made I think he made like 5 million in the digital renaissance, like the last event he did. So he makes a lot of money. And to him, honestly, at this point, he's just playing a game. Like he literally, it's just like, why does the guy who's already maxed out his skills keep playing? He genuinely just likes playing the game. It's like you can't, like it's extremely hard to compete against someone who isn't even working. They're literally just playing. Like this is why I was able to dominate when I came on, because like I do this shit all day. Honestly, I talk about 4-hour work week and deep work and stuff, but it's like even if I'm not doing work tasks, it's like this is the things I still think about, because like genuinely this is my fun. I don't watch porn, I don't play video games, I don't do like drinking or anything shit. So it's like this is what I like to do for fun. So it's very hard to compete in it. And when it is your fun and it also is socially rewarding and you get status and everything, then it's like, why are you gonna stop at that point? Where we differ then is that I experienced the Dubai lifestyle, and honestly, it's like it just didn't really do many positives for me. I think especially because, quite simply, like in terms of love and sex, I'm very like, I sound like a dickhead, but I'm very fulfilled. So it's like I actually didn't need that life to get more of that. In the end, honestly, like I always say this and people don't like to agree, but in the end, everything we do is for status. And then why we get status is just a fuck. It's literally as simple as that. In the end, that's literally just only reason why we do anything as men, is like even why we meditate. Like, yeah, it's for our mental health, but it's like to bring us to the point. And it's totally normal to say that. And so going down that pathway is a fantastic way to fulfill that primal need of yours with high quality women, really attractive, like fertile young women and stuff. But it gets old extremely quickly. Any guy in the pickup space knows this. The moment you've slept with like 2, 3 girls in the last few days, all you're left with is like literally just thinking like, what the fuck? I literally just want to work. Like I say this to first man, like because he's changing into this mindset. And I tell him like, bro, I literally just want to work. I genuinely have more fun and genuinely more pleasure when I just work compared to like the 3 hours that I've got to spend to like see like a girl. And I say to them like, the only difference is if you genuinely love that girl. So I'm more on that side. I'm more on the side of like, I want my exact life that I have right now. I like being in nature more than I like being in a Gucci store or something. I've bought like one expensive piece of clothing before and it just felt out of place. Like I was wearing these sweaty shorts in this like fancy shop while the guy is like tapering my arm and stuff like that, like talking to me about the new line that's been released. and it was like $400 or something, £400 for the shirt. And it's like, it just, that shit just, it does nothing to me. Just because it's like, I don't really relate to the guys who value it either. So if there's anyone who saw me wearing some like fancy shirt, like I got a Burberry shirt or something, and the type of guys who would have complimented me and elevated my status, or the girls who would have, it's like I've got nothing in common with them. I want to like spend time with the girls who are talking about like barefoot shoes. Do you know what I mean? It's like £100 shoes of like, oh yeah, you know, like like we're not actually supposed to wear trainers, we've got heels on them, and you know, like maybe it's a conspiracy theory, and that they just don't want us to feel present or not feel like that. That's me, bro. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,